I'm struggling. Well, not really struggling, but after all expenses and everything that's a necessities paid, I have about $2,000 left a month, and I just don't know where it's going. It seems like I just spend it. Like
so on paper, if you did what the paper said on what you spent, you'd have $2,000. But you're saying it's disappearing; it's being spent.
Yes.
Do you want to know what this is? This is a classic case. You do what is called the treat yourself budget, which is I budget for all of the things that are like necessities. Like I budget for my rent, my car payment, my groceries, a couple of, my cell phone bill, but everything else is up for grabs and you treat yourself. And then next thing you know, you're like, where did the money go? So does that sound about right?
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah.
Like if you go to your bank account statement will tell you, right? If you go to your bank account statement and you add up all the things that weren't the necessary expenses, it would easily tell you what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say are the top 3 things this money's disappearing to? Eating out? Are you sports betting? Gas station snacks?
Definitely gas station.
Okay, I just guessed all 3
here,
perfectly.
A little there. What? You know what? I find that gas station snacks is a big thing. Like that seems to be a high ticket item here. I don't know what it is, but
I don't go in there. I'm too nervous.
I don't go in the gas station to get food. There's 2 things that just shouldn't go together. I don't know, but anyway.
Do you have any other vices?
Not judging you.
Are you like dip something that you're spending vapes? I don't know.
No, I mean I buy truck parts and different things. I mean I dabble here and there spending.
You single?
I buy usually. No, I got a girlfriend.
Oh, well, that might be where some of it's going, I would think. Here's what I think you need to do. Okay, so I used to budget just like that. I was definitely the treat yourself budgeter who wanted to use the rest on, like, it's up for grabs. That's the way I felt about it.
You ate your vegetables. All right, you can get some dessert.
But the truth is, when you treat your money like that, you'll look up 10 years from now and there's a lot of regret because you go, oh my gosh, so much money passed through my hands and I was not a good steward of it. As a matter of fact, for most people, think about it. If during your working years, most people work 40 years, let's say you just make an average of $50,000 a year. That's over $2 million that's going to pass through your hands. And if you take this portion of it and you just go, it's up for grabs, I don't know what happened to it, you can't really call yourself a good steward of your money. And chances are you won't be prepared when the time comes to retire or buy a house or any of those things that, we want to do to feel the success of our finances. So what I would suggest is a zero-based budget, which is a form of budgeting that utilizes every single penny. And I just want to kind of clear up because a lot of people feel like budgets are kind of restraining, right, Hayden? And I have a feeling that you feel that way. Like you feel like a budget is something that's going to keep you from doing the things you want to do when really it's the exact opposite. Because if you were to do a zero-based budget, you'd not only be planning for those things like rent and car payments and keeping the lights on, but you'd also go through and say, wow, I have $1,900 of margin. What is it that I want to do? Do I need to have $1,000 of savings? Do I need to build up a 3 to 6 months emergency fund? Is there debt I need to pay off? And if you've already accounted for those things, then you can say, okay, yeah, I want to spend a little bit on hunting and I want to spend a little bit on, I don't know, Wawa snacks. And so that's the beauty of this is you get to decide. So let George and I help you decide. Do you have any debt?
I have a truck payment and then a boat payment.
Okay. How much do you owe on the truck?
Around $34,000.
And how much do you owe on the boat?
Around $12,000.
Okay. So that right there is a good indicator of what you should be using that margin for.
What do you make a year?
Last year I brought in around $80,000, but this year I'm working full time and doing college, so it's dropped about 10, 15.
So you're making about $65,000?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Man, you got a lot tied up in wheels and motors going down in value to be making $65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about selling these 2 items and getting something cheaper?
Well, the truck is what I use to make the money every day. I drive for work. I do like hot shot.
Can you get a cheaper truck to do this with? I don't think it's a $34,000 truck causing this.
Yeah, I probably could.
I mean, if you had a $15,000 truck that was running great, could you do the same work and get paid the same?
Yeah.
Okay. That tells me the truck was for you, and yes, you do use it for work, but you can also get a cheaper truck, get out of this debt, free up more margin, and I imagine you don't have a lot of time to be on the boat when you're working and a full-time student.
Yeah, I do plan on selling the boat this upcoming spring.
What can you get for it?
Oh, probably around 15,
Okay.
14, 15.
Okay, so that's another maybe $2,000, $1,500 that you could put towards this debt. What George and I are getting at is, and this is what Dave Ramsey would say, your biggest wealth building tool is your income, right? And so good for you that you have $2,000 of margin every month. Bad for you that you have this debt, because what are your payments on the truck and the boat combined?
Around $1,300. I could refinance them, but I've just decided to try and pay it off.
Yeah,
quicker.
I think that's good. But think about if you had that $1,300 back in your wallet plus the $2,000. That's a lot of money. And so if we can get these things sold or paid off, that's really where you're going to see the ultimate potential with that money. And then we'd be saying things like, hey, with this margin, you could be investing 15%. And hey, you could be doing, do you see what I'm saying?
Save up a down payment.
Well, my only problem with that is, like, my parents, which I just turned 20, and they're more like, don't sell the truck, the insurance is going to blah, blah, blah.
They're wrong. Hey,
keep it and pay it off.
If you have a paid off vehicle, your insurance is going to be lower. If you have a used paid off vehicle, your insurance is likely going to be lower than if you had something that's newer with payments. That's the truth.
That's what I thought, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Are they making the $1,300 payments for you every month?
No.
They don't get a say in you getting rid of that payment because you're the one who has to pay it.
Uh-huh. Hey, the truth is with parents, like they have the best of intentions, but sometimes they only know what they know. And so a lot of times it's like they do it one way, so they pass that way on to you. And even though it's a good intention, it's not necessarily the right answer or the best way to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think from where you're sitting, you can just be like, okay, thanks. That's when you just do the smile and nod and you're like, oh, okay. And then you go into your life and you do the thing that you know how to do in your own life.
You can be kind and respectful.
That's right.
Do you have any money in savings, Hayden?
My parents got around $30,000 for me. I had a problem with my arm and surgery, so I got
a settlement?
A settlement coming in soon.
Okay.
And that'll be in your name. You said your parents have it for you.
Yeah. No, it'll be in my name.
Okay. Man, that'll set you up for sure.
Yeah. So if George and I were in your shoes, yeah, that $30,000, I'd keep it aside. Let's call that, if you're selling this boat and if you're selling the truck or deciding to keep the truck.
That's an emergency fund plus some moving out money plus some down payment money.
Yeah.
That sets you up, man.
Yeah. I would definitely downsize this truck. I would not pay it off with what you're earning and what your life is. I'd downsize it. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
All right, let's go to Danielle in Reading, Pennsylvania. Hey, Danielle, what's up?
Hi there.
How are you?
Well, I'm a little stressed at the moment, so I'm calling to get some advice.
All right.
My adult daughter and her 2 children are living in my house, and she has always had a tendency to do things impulsively, and there's been a shortage of maturity. I will also add to some issues that we've had. And recently she has now started a new relationship, and I've seen some things that I don't like in her, and I feel like I want her to move out of my house, but I don't want it to be, you got to get out. I need maybe some guidance on how to work this out, because I want her to get out of my house.
Yeah. I just want to tell you, thank you for your spirit, and thank you for loving your baby girl. And also, this is hard, but thank you for having boundaries. And all of those feel like they're in tension with one another, and they are, but they're not all mutually exclusive. So you're heading into some choppy waters, but they're the right waters, and so good for you. So why did she come move into your house?
This is one of the impulse things. She went and kind of eloped, let's say, with someone she had been seeing for a short time. I'm going to say about 2 years or 2.5 years into it, he up and left her with her daughter and their 1-year-old at the time. And she wasn't generating enough income. And I would never let my loved ones just live in the street, so certainly come home.
Sure.
And I didn't feel like, you have 3 months, you have 6 months, and she hadn't been making money, but I will take the responsibility and say, I think that I have let it drag on too long.
There you go.
Because I've seen her not become more responsible and be taking steps to move out. She's quite comfortable, and now I feel like you're not just comfortable, but you're taking things for granted, and
you're enabling the behavior now.
Out.
There you go.
Right.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write her a letter, and I want you to go by yourself. And it may take a couple hours. It may take a couple of days. It may take 5 drafts, 1 draft. I don't care. But just get it right. And I want you to have a couple of parts in this letter. The first one is I want you to tell her how important she is to you, how much you love her, the things that you see in her life that you are proud of her about. I want you to let her know that. And it's important that you write this down, and I'll tell you why. But then I want you to talk about, here's how I've loved you, stepped in the gap. And here's the next way I'm going to love you, which is I'm going to walk alongside you as you leave the nest. And I want you to take her out somewhere. We joke here at the office. I'm always telling people to go to breakfast. Our friend Anthony likes to have these conversations at dinner. I think better in the morning, so I like breakfast. But I want you to take her somewhere, and I want you, and it may not even be in a restaurant. It may be in a private place. But I want you to read her this letter and then hand it to her. And here's why. When people are in this situation, as soon as they start to get a hint that I'm going to be homeless, or less specific, I'm getting abandoned again, I'm getting left again, their brain shifts. Their critical thinking literally goes offline, and their fight or flight takes over. And so they start hearing things that are not always real. When you write it down and hand it to them, she can reread it and reread it and reread it, and then eventually get to okay, my mom, even if I don't agree with it, in my mom's heart, she loves me, and she's trying to walk alongside me. I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover by Dave, and I want you to give that to her as a gift. I want you to help her make a budget. I want you to give her a ramp. Say, in 3 months, I'm gonna go with you to look at apartments. I'm gonna go with you to look at rental home, whatever that looks like. I'm gonna help you with your job. I'm gonna walk alongside you, but at this deadline is when we're moving out.
Laurie is with us in Niagara Falls. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey, for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I are reconciling a 25-year-old marriage, and our financial situation is a disaster. We run a family farm, and I'm coming up to nearly complete reluctance to do anything different, the insanity thing. I need something to take away to start to get together with him and make progress to reduce our debt.
Okay, I didn't understand what you meant when you said you're reconciling a 25-year marriage. What does that mean?
We've been married 25 years, and we've been separated for 2, and we're coming back together and proceeding with our marriage and our family.
Okay, and why were you separated?
We had a lot of arguing and differences in how to actually do different things to get out of debt. And it was just a very difficult, complex situation.
Yeah. And did you have someone coach you as you've worked through this reconciliation process? A counselor?
We did for a short time together, but that didn't go much more than a few months, and I've been in counseling myself privately.
Uh-huh. Okay. And your current counselor is telling you that this process you're using is going to work? It doesn't sound very healthy to me.
It is not the best, but it could be worse. I'm hopeful.
Well, a lot of things could be worse. Somebody shooting you would be worse, but there's a lot of things that are worse, but that doesn't mean that, it sounds to me like you're the only one that's working on this.
Pretty much.
Okay. I think you need to go talk to your counselor again. And I think your counselor needs to tell you the truth. That if you go back into a situation when you're the only one that has changed, nothing's going to change. Because the point is you are coming up against an immovable object, him. And if he is not going to change, that is not reconciliation. That is you acquiescing. There's a difference. You don't call that reconciliation. Reconciliation is when both parties say we both have to move to a common ground from where we are in order to go forward. And I sure hope that can happen. But so far everything in this conversation, and it's a very short conversation on the radio, I understand, and I'm not your counselor, but you guys, there has to be some movement on his side of this equation.
Progress has been made on a personal level, interpersonal.
Okay,
but when it comes and overflows into the business aspect of it, this is where it's stalling out. Yep. Being together and working together all day, every day, and then having a relationship too, it's very difficult at times to differentiate where the boundaries are between work and personal.
Gotcha.
So we have made progress in the personal area, but when it comes to the finances and the hard numbers, there's a lot of reluctance to explore new avenues of. It's a new day and age in the world with marketing and pushing. So
you work in the business still, even though you're separated.
I help. I'm on the fringes. I'm trying to mesh back in and pick up. Where we left off.
Did you used to work in the business?
Yes.
Okay. Completely.
Totally.
Okay. So here's the thing: the boundaries part that you talked about. Here's a couple things you can work on there. You guys need to talk about the hats. I've got family in my business here. My kids work here. They're grown humans, but my children are just the same. And we wear hats, and the hats are when we're at home. I'm Papa Dave to the grandbabies. When I'm at the office, I'm your freaking CEO, and you're my employee. And you can't be wifey at the office. That doesn't work. And he can't be husband at the office because you're disrespecting the CEO of the organization, and he can't lead and he can't make decisions if you're playing wifey at the office. But can a wife work in the office? Absolutely. But if you're the marketing director, you report to your CEO. And if you're the CEO and he's the marketing director, he reports to you. I don't care which way it is, but you put those hats on at the office, because if the other team members and the customers see you all having marital disputes at the office over office stuff, that says you don't know what your role is. And family business disintegrates into a toxic cesspool. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yes.
Okay. It's a pain in the butt, isn't it? But we've had stuff like Rachel, my daughter, is one of our Ramsey personalities. You may know that, right? And Rachel is very opinionated, which makes her a great speaker and writer and so forth. You need to have an opinion. And yet she works here. Christy Wright's a Ramsey personality. When we're in a meeting with 10 of us working on the launch of Christy Wright's book, and I say something, Christy Wright does not roll her eyes. She's an employee of mine. I'm the CEO, right? Mm-hmm. But Rachel Cruz might have been known to do that once. Can you imagine? Now, if she rolled her eyes, what was she doing? She had the wrong hat on. She had the daughter hat on. Because daughters roll their eyes at their dads, not employees. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And so guess what? Rachel got thumped by one of our other executives here as soon as she did that. And she tells that story. So I'm not telling out of school on her. But that was an example of one time where one of us forgot, the hat we were supposed to be wearing was not father-daughter. And I can't use my dad voice on my son in a meeting. He's one of our senior directors, and when I treat him like I do any other senior director with the same respect, and I thump him just as hard as I would one of our other senior directors if they were doing something stupid in their business unit. I treat him exactly the same, but I don't use my dad voice on my son because it brings up all this other toxic stuff. So you've really got to work on that stuff in order to be able to have the influence for him to hear you about business stuff. Now, once you've got those hats established, here's another way to approach it then. You leave the physical location of the business and you sit down over a nice meal and you say, all right, we're changing hats. Now you're not the CEO. Now you're the husband. And I'm your wife. And as your wife, I'm going to speak into the financial decisions at the business because they affect me as your wife. My wife does that and she doesn't work here at all. And so if we're doing something here that she gets nervous about or she doesn't understand, she doesn't hesitate from a wife's position to sit down with me in private and say, hey, Dave, I'm worried about that. That thing down there, I'm seeing this. I'm wondering about that. I know I'm on the outside, but as a wife wearing the wife hat, she speaks into the business. But she doesn't stroll into the office around here and go, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, and start barking at people and telling them what to do. She doesn't work here. She doesn't have the position to do that. The only influence she has is the absolute most powerful influence there is, which is through her husband, right? And so wearing the wife hat. So I think if you can establish these differences of how you act at work and how you act at home wearing different hats. Okay, I'm taking my husband hat off. I'm asking you to take your CEO hat off, and I want you to put your husband hat on. And I want you to hear from your wife, not one of your part-time employees that used to work here full-time before we split up, right? Because on that basis, you've got very little input. A part-time employee on the fringes, you said, right?
I'm working back in.
Yeah, but I know. But you're not in from a corporate standpoint, from a business standpoint. Any other employee that was looking at that, was in that kind of a role, does not have influence on the CEO, because part-timers don't have influence on the CEOs, and so you don't try to get at it from that angle. It's not going to work. You got to get away from the business and say part of our marital package is that we have this business, and as a wife, I want to speak into that business, not as a part-time fringe employee. And we're going to separate the two with those hats. Maybe that'll help you guys, but I think both of you need to be in coaching, counseling on a reconciliation as long as you've been married trying to put this back together. The fact that he's not attending that bothers me a lot. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My husband and I started a business here just the end of last year, and we are making pretty good money, but it's not quite enough to make ends meet. And at this point, we've put pretty much everything we have into it, and it has the potential, but we're just trying to figure out some more ways to bring money into the business to try to increase that to make ends meet.
What kind of business?
It's an indoor baseball training facility.
Okay, and how you said you've sunk everything into it. What does that mean?
Pretty much. We started completely debt-free. We pulled an SBA loan, ended up being about $325. We had a very large chunk of money in the bank when we started. Part of that was going towards our security deposit. The other we kept was about $40,000 in the bank. Now we're to the point where we have about $30,000 in credit card debts. We've used my husband's 401k, and our entire savings is put into it as well. There were some factors that came up that we weren't really expecting for, and that money ended up going towards the business. So,
was the business ever profitable to where you weren't needing to go into debt for it?
Well, I mean, we're not really behind yet on the business. I mean, the money that we spent on credit cards and stuff was actually to get the business open and started. We've brought in about $52,000 since we opened December, like mid-December. So it's making money, but I mean, our lease payment's $30,000 a month, so we're not making enough.
Yeah, you're not making money.
Dang.
What your lease payment is $30,000?
Yeah.
What is your
3,000 square feet?
What's your debt overhead? What have y'all taken out?
We don't really have. I mean, the business essentially runs itself, and we don't have hardly any overhead. Like our utility bill is about the highest we pay.
Well, your debt payments are your biggest.
No, what's
overhead.
your debt payment?
You said $325 on an SBA loan.
Mm-hmm. We actually haven't started. They gave us a 6-month draw period, so we haven't actually started paying that payment yet. We've been paying the interest on it, which has been about, I think about $2,500. The last one I think come in, give or take. I'm expecting those to increase now, obviously, since we have used the funds from the loan. So that drop period closes, and then we should start seeing the first payment come through.
But you don't know what the payment's going to be?
No, well, we do and we don't, because when we talk to them, basically they told us it's been a rough go with them, but basically they told us we have a 6-month drop period. We only pay interest until then. Obviously, the interest will increase every month as we're spending more, utilizing those funds from the bank.
So is this like a line of credit from the bank up to $325?
No, it was an actual
a lump sum
loan. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? You said you maxed your credit cards out. How bad is that?
About 30,000. We had, 2 of those are personal cards, and one is a business card, but all of it went towards the business. We started with nothing on those cards.
And when did you start this business?
December the 10th.
Of we're talking a few months ago.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so far it's making, what, $15K a month?
Last month, I believe we brought in about $18,000. The month prior, about $16,000, and our first month was a bigger month coming in.
But your lease is $30,000.
Correct.
So you're bleeding money every month.
Correct. And we're waiting on our realtor, actually, hopefully today, to give us some information on having a tenant come into part of that space to sublease it out, which we're hoping will help.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get 50%, right?
You need this thing to be making $75,000 to $100,000 a month.
$100,000.
Well, we're not actually paying ourselves out from the business, and we don't really have any overhead. So if we can make,
that's the scary part. How are you guys living?
Yeah, how do you eat?
Well.
So you're working for free while going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt.
Yeah. So we were both working right up until we opened the business. I am currently in an IOP OCD treatment program, so I have a couple more weeks of that before I can go back to work. My husband is. I think he's doing interviews today, actually, to take on remote work from our business while he does that at the same time. We need to be making we can make ends meet and actually profit on about $45,000 a month.
There's no way.
We don't have, because we don't have any.
What about your insurance? You have to be insured in case a kid gets hit by a ball or turns his ankle and sues you for the whole thing.
Yeah,
what's your insurance?
Our insurance is about $2,000 a month, I believe. We had to have general, and then we had to have workers' comp as well, even though we don't actually have any employees. But
okay, so are you never going to take a vacation?
At this point, no. I mean, that was the goal, but yeah, at this point, our intentions were to pay ourselves out, obviously, from the business, and that didn't work out. And so we've kind of burned through savings up to this point, both being there all day, every day, trying to make that successful. And it's to the point now that we're going to have to go back to work and do both at the same time.
Have you sat down? If you haven't, please, anytime somebody's in this level of stress, whether it's in their marriage, with a new business, there has to be a moment in this chaos when everybody exhales and you and your husband get a whiteboard and you write down on that whiteboard every single person you owe. And then you also on that whiteboard write down every single dollar it costs to run this thing every month. Because right now y'all are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You've got money coming in one way. Some of this is borrowed. You got a credit card over here. It just feels like it's everywhere. I don't think, I don't know if you can't see me and George. I don't think you understand how bad this is.
Yeah, we're pretty scared, and we don't. It's kind of hard because there's certain bills that we know are coming that we don't know what they are because we haven't seen them yet. Like our utility bill, we're estimating probably about $5,000, but we haven't actually seen it yet because our building is a split space, so the other side doesn't have a tenant yet. So the landlord didn't actually even split the utilities until not even 30 days ago. So we don't even know.
I think you need to talk to the landlord and explain what's going on. And see how quickly you can get out of this lease. Because it's going to continue to bleed money for the foreseeable future.
I mean, how are you're talking about getting 100% more business? How do you expect to go about doing that? Do you even have enough Little League and high school and college players to utilize your facility?
We do, actually. Yeah, it's kind of a huge market for it here. And when we started the business, there was nothing within 30 minutes of us. And we've had a lot of people coming in, at least, I mean, for weather permitting, obviously that changes things. But I just with the potential that I've seen it, I feel like there's a way to do it. There's got to be another way I can bring some more money into it. I'm just kind of stumped as to how.
But let me tell you this. You have to get to a point where your feelings are very important. But you have to get to a point where you're trafficking only in math.
Right.
Because if you feel, you should know how many Little League teams are actually fielded in a 30-minute radius of your house. If you haven't already, you should be knocking on the coaches' doors of the middle school teams, the high school teams, the junior college teams, university teams, giving them special deals, going 24/7. I mean, if you're not knocking on every single door of every coach over and over and giving them coupons, and I mean, that's the only way you can survive. And if you haven't done that, then maybe you've got a shot. But the fact that you don't know, I mean, you guys are just like, no, it's a big market. Like, man, you need to know how many Little League players are in your area, right?
Yeah, when we did our projections for the business, in order to qualify for the SBA loan, we had to have I had to have stacks of paperwork detailing exactly what's in our area, exactly how many kids, exactly how many teams. I don't have it sitting in front of me right now, but we do have all that detailed out. My husband's been coaching for years, so he actually has a lot of personal relationships with high schools, the leagues, everything. So he's reaching out to all those people as well.
Okay, but here's the thing. If he is, there may become a moment that y'all realize you're over your head and it's not going to work. My hope here is that there's 100% more people that y'all haven't reached out to yet.
Right.
Then you've got a shot.
If there's not, what does that look like as far as exiting a business that's not profitable?
You need to sell all the assets you can on the equipment, get out of the lease with as little damage as possible, and then go get full-time jobs, both making six figures, and clean up the debt of the failed business.
Yeah. And maybe reach out to softball teams too and see if softball, like if there's an equally large softball market in your area too, maybe that's a chance. But yeah, otherwise you're selling assets and you're just going to go beg to the owner of this building. Hopefully your lease isn't a 5-year lease or something, but yeah, this is in a really gnarly way. But y'all need to sit down with a whiteboard and be very honest about how much you owe.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Ben joins us in Spokane, Washington. Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
All right. My name is Ben. I'm 19. I have about $10,000 in investments and about $5,000 in cash, and I'm debt-free.
Woo!
I just recently got my first credit card, and I'm having a really hard time going against my saving instinct. It was just something my parents kind of pressured me into getting, and I just am having a really hard time understanding why I need this untangible thing called credit.
Ben, you are speaking my
How
language,
do I overcome this?
Okay, so the truth is, and your parents are very well-meaning, and they love you, but they fell for the trap. And here's the trap. Telling your kid they have to get a credit card. And why did they tell you to get a card, Ben?
To build up credit.
Boom! To get your credit score up. And why do you need a high credit score?
To pay for a house.
To get
is
loans.
What they told me.
To get loans. That's the only thing you need a credit score for. And the truth is, you don't. And I can tell you this because I'm a practitioner of this. I was able to get my mortgage, which is now paid off, without any credit score.
Wow.
Is that shocking?
So, why does everyone just seem to have a credit card then? It seems as though
Ben, we are asking the same question every day on the Ramsey Show.
Ben, it's called marketing. Think about how many. I want you to watch TV the next 3 or 4 nights. You youngsters don't watch network TV. Yeah. Watch how many commercials there are for a credit card.
It's insane.
There's a lot.
Ben,
a lot.
Would your parents sit down and listen to a podcast with you, just one episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I like this.
I'm going to point you in the direction of my podcast, The Fine Print. Episode 7 is called The Dirty Truth Behind Your Credit Score. And if you want to talk credit card rewards, Episode 2 is titled The True Cost of Credit Card Rewards. So if you want to have a fun hour, listen to both of those episodes with them, and we dig into all of those myths about credit. And your parents are not dumb people. They're smart, but they just fell for the normal American traps of, well, you got to have your credit score to build your credit. And how do you do that? Well, you got to go into debt, and you got to pay it perfectly and get more debt so that you can get a perfect credit score. But everything that they say you can't do without a credit score, I have done. I am like a unicorn, Ken. It's amazing. I rent cars. I rent hotels. I bought a house. I pay cash for cars, which means they don't need to look at my credit score, which, by the way, is invisible.
Ben, are you hearing this? George is living outside the Matrix. You can too.
Dude,
it's so fun.
Episode 7 of The Fine Print. I'm not kidding you. Your parents will actually like it. George is very entertaining, as you can tell.
It's a blast.
It's a great listen, and I think it'll be fun. Now, don't sit there and go, I told you, Mom and Dad. Let them listen to it and process it.
But then as soon as the episode is done, I want you to cut up the credit card in front of them and say, I love you guys.
I have the credit card in my hand.
Okay, well, do it after the episode.
Do it now.
Film it and then send it to me on Instagram, @GeorgeCamel. I'd love to see that. This is going to be fun. I can't wait. Ben, thanks so much for the call, man. You're doing great, but don't fall for the traps. This is The Ramsey Show.
Heidi is with us in Atlanta. Hey, Heidi, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you for having me and talking to me today. How are you?
Sure. What's up?
I'm in a little bit of a predicament. I'm coming to the realization that I'm having to possibly make some decisions that are not only finance related.
I'm having trouble understanding you. Can you speak directly into your phone, please? It sounds muffled.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. A little better. Go ahead and try again.
Talk bold.
Okay.
Talk bold.
Yeah.
It's just you and me and Dave and like 10 million other people. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. I can't speak too loudly because my husband's downstairs and I don't want to be interrupted by him. So I'm in a situation where my husband's not wanting to work on our finances together. This last 2.5 years, he has not been contributing towards our joint account at all. Money is completely separated, and recently he informed me that if I want my financial situation to change, I have to do something about it. Because I've suggested to him, I've been listening to you for the last month or so here and talking about how if we're going to get out of debt, we need to work on it together. I sent him different shows that you've released, and in order for him to listen to it, he's just not on board with it.
Why?
I'm sorry?
Why does he not want to combine your finances?
He says that he's got a plan in place that works for him, and
it does not include you.
Yeah.
So how long has he been having an affair?
Yeah.
Our finances basically have been always separated.
That wasn't what I asked.
I don't know of any particular situation where he is having an affair.
Are you safe?
Yeah, in my home, I'm okay. I just can't speak loudly.
Okay.
You can't what?
Can't speak loudly. So you just called two guys listening to how you are having to speak in your own home out of fear of a man who calls himself your husband. And I need you to hear from me, who's also a husband, sitting next to another guy who's a husband, that safety can come in the form of physical safety, and it can also come in the form of psychological safety where you don't feel welcome in your own house. And Dave's question about, is he having an affair? I need you to hear the behavior. Hear what your husband's trying to tell you through his behavior. That is, you are not a priority. Right. His priorities are somewhere else. And he is disinterested in a relationship with you.
Correct.
Right? And that's heartbreaking, and I'm saying it real direct, and I know that's hard. But you are not safe at all. You know that, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know that, right?
Yes, I know that. And this is part of the last 4 months has been very revealing.
There you go. And so Dave's question about an affair, that'd be my first question too. Something has changed in this marriage. It was already separate, and we already would have poked at you for having different accounts. Something else has changed. Either he's about to leave, or he already has left, or something has shifted, or he's in trouble, he's got an addiction issue. Something else has shifted.
He's in love with something else.
Right. His phone, politics. There's a lot of different things that are distracting him, but we are all in the same house together ever since COVID, including the kids.
How many children do you have?
2 girls.
And what is your income?
Well, right now it's not where it could be. It's about $40,000.
What could it be?
If I went back to my former career that I left to try to do this RV life with him, I could be making upwards of 90 on my own.
So
maybe what?
She could be making upwards of 90 on her own.
Oh, 90. I didn't hear the 90. Okay, I'm sorry. And how old are your children?
13 and 9.
Okay.
Can I ask you a real hard question?
Yes.
Is this the picture of love that you want to communicate to them?
No, it's not. And I've been, wrestling with this, like I said, for the last 4 months. And after speaking to some of my friends and coming to the realization that, not only is it financial abuse, it's my mental health, it's my children's mental health.
There you go.
Yep.
It's all of it. This is not the person my parents raised. My dad, I bought this house on my own, single. I was completely debt-free when I got married, and that has changed.
Okay,
and
kiddo.
I want to get back to who I was before.
There you go.
So here's what you're going to have to do. Your friends aren't who walk through you with this except as friends, but you need to get a good counselor.
ASAP.
So you need to go see a marriage counselor starting today that is a strong person that will try to help you save your marriage if it's salvageable, that will give you some verbiage and some positions to remind you you're not crazy, because you got 2 guys who are saying you're not crazy.
You're not.
Okay? And we both know this stuff, okay? So you need to get a counselor that can guide you through this. You don't want to do this off of a radio call, and you don't want to do this off of your friend's opinion over a glass of wine. You need to get a counselor in your corner that can give you some ways to explain to your husband that what will amount to ultimately an ultimatum.
A boundary.
A boundary that says you are going to re-engage or you're going to disengage. Right. We're not going to play here in the middle, and I'm not going to be abused at this level anymore. And you got to have someone help you set that boundary, not 2 guys on the radio. But you're not crazy, and you need to do this, and you need to do this right now. John, we got to go back to that last caller for a second, because there's a whole lot of that in America today.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of different ways that husbands and wives interact over money. There's a situation where they work together, and everything's combined, and they make decisions together. And when they make decisions on their spending and their investing, they realize that they are truly adding a level of unity, a level of oneness to their relationship, a level of communication to their relationship, and that's plan A. And it has the highest probability of increasing the quality of your marriage and the highest probability of you becoming wealthy. Plan A does. Plan B is to healthy, mentally mature, emotionally mature people who operate financially like roommates, but both of them have a vote, and there is a mutual respect, and there's communication between them, but they run separate accounts. That's a plan B. That lowers the probability of wealth building and the quality of the marriage substantially, but it still functions. Plan C, that's even worse, is mom or dad, husband or wife, one of the two, is in charge.
and the other one is doled out money as an allowance. Well, I got to check with Mama, see if I got any money. Meaning the wife is in charge of the money, or I got to ask my husband because he handles all the money, and or I don't know what we've got, and they die. The one that handles the money dies, and the other one just left clueless and with no skills because they don't have decades of handling anything. They basically are a glorified child being taken care of by an unglorified parent in that setting, and that is damaging to the relationship, and it's really damaging to the money, really damaging the money. That plan F, where you fail the test, is one toxic member of the team is in control of the money and the other person.
It's fine. That's abuse.
With toxic financial abuse.
Right.
The extreme of that is there's a high correlation in the data and in the actual practice, and I've seen it on the financial side. I've talked with other coaches. You and I have talked about this. You probably can cite a study. I've just talked to other people that have seen it in practice, that if a husband has extreme control over the finances, to the point that the wife is not allowed to can't go to the grocery store by herself, can't pay any electric bill. She's given $2 at a time, not $2,000 at a time. Extreme control. Probably 90 to 95% of the time he's hitting her. Domestic violence tied to that. If there's that level of control, you can just about count on it. That last one gets really close to that.
That's why my first question was, are you safe, right? Because you could feel it.
She wanted to say safe was emotional abuse, but she's upstairs and can't speak loudly because he's downstairs.
That's right.
Which makes me wonder about that whole thing.
And how many calls have we taken, you and I have taken, that have a couple on, they disagree, they're either laughing about it, or they're in jest but serious. That's the first one of these where somebody's hiding upstairs saying, help.
It's not the first one, sadly, but it won't be the last one. But the point of us bringing this up is, to outline what A plan is, B plan is, C plan is, and F plan is. Here's the thing. Every one of those, regardless of who you are and which player you are in that role, is a choice to go forward that way.
Right.
And I would encourage every one of you to choose to move towards the A plan.
Yeah.
Or if you are unsafe, to choose to get out.
Yeah.
Whether you're unsafe emotionally or you're unsafe physically. I don't tell people to file divorce, and I don't tell people to file bankruptcy, but there are situations where you're unsafe, you need to get out of there.
And if you find yourself, she mentioned something at the end of that call that just has buried itself in my heart a little bit. She said, this isn't who I am. I've looked up, I bought this house, I bought it on my own, I had a great career, I was debt-free, and now I'm somebody else. That's common language of somebody who's in an abusive relationship. I have become somebody else in order to keep myself safe, keep my kids safe, keep this guy from
keep his rage, keep his rage down.
That's right. And when you look in the mirror and say, "Who are you? Who have you become?"
Because there's a rage person in your life.
That is signal number one. Call somebody and get some help right away.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. That's the wrathful man Proverbs talks about is a dangerous character.
Golly, man.
It's a dangerous character, and the sad thing is that he's probably has very low coping skills himself, and that's what drives him to rage.
That's right, yeah. And I'd love for him to get some help as well. And she mentioned something, the number of calls I'm taking, Dave, on my show, the data is bearing it out. The folks over the last 24 months who have gotten psychotic about their cell phones and new data and new information and news, it's destroying people. Put your phones down and say, I got a problem, and go re-engage. Or call.
You get a human being.
Get a counselor, yes.
You do not need turn your stupid screen off and get around human beings. I mean, it's screen time. People have gone down the conspiracy theory or alternate theory or whatever you want to call it, rabbit hole, and they live there.
They've moved in.
Yeah. And so I've had to put up a boundary in my life. I've got a certain number of acquaintances / friends that I'm like, not here.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about COVID anymore. I'm tired of it.
There you go.
It's no longer fun. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're all stupid. All of you are stupid. I'm just not talking about it anymore, And if I die from it, y'all can make fun of me then. It's fine. But it's all good. And you can be mad at Dave Ramsey, and you're already mad at him, so screw it. Whatever. It's okay. So, but I mean, this whole thing, you've got to, this rage that has welled up inside of started with a quarantine and has driven people, the fear off of that. It's an existential crisis of another kind.
It is. And we are feeling a mass psychosis, man. We've got, dude, this is how nonsense gets started, Dave, that you can't wheel back. And so I want people to put their phones down and go call a friend. Call and ask your close buddies. If I've been raged out, and if they're good friends, they'll be honest with you. Say, no. Or they'll look you out and say, yeah, we've been worried about you.
Yeah.
I've had those moments in my life, man.
Well, you get in fight mode and you stay jacked up.
And you never get off fight. You just go looking for the next fight, the next fight, the next fight.
Yeah. And it's a jacked up thing. And then all you do is just keep Fox News on or CNN on, whichever version you are.
And they'll feed it to you.
And they'll make sure you're pissed off.
All 24/7. That's how they get paid.
Exactly. And if not, you can turn on your local news and a tornado's going to kill you. But yeah. Oh, my God. There's a snowstorm! It's like, oh, jeez. Just get in the truck and drive to work.
Or don't. But pick one. Don't be
or don't. But don't be
maniacal about it.
Turn the TV off.
Turn it off.
It's white powder. It's going to be okay. It'll be all right. And so, but the wussification of America, this idea that we don't know how to fight through something, and then when we get into this, we don't have the character structure to fight like a man. Instead, we fight like a boy. And
through power and control,
and jacked up bully mode instead of manly, righteous anger at something that's truly principled and wrong. And so you become an activist. God help you, because you don't have anything else to do. It's weird. It's weird. It's happening out there. And so if you're in those situations, folks, get some help.
Call somebody. Please
call somebody. Get somebody in your corner. Walk you out of it. And put the phone down. This is The Ramsey Show. Heidi is with us in Atlanta. Hey, Heidi, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you for having me and talking to me today. How are you?
Sure. What's up?
I'm in a little bit of a predicament. I'm coming to the realization that I'm having to possibly make some decisions that are not only finance related.
I'm having trouble understanding you. Can you speak directly into your phone, please? It sounds muffled.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. A little better. Go ahead and try again.
Talk bold.
Okay.
Talk bold.
Yeah.
It's just you and me and Dave and like 10 million other people. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. I can't speak too loudly because my husband's downstairs and I don't want to be interrupted by him. So I'm in a situation where my husband's not wanting to work on our finances together. This last 2.5 years, he has not been contributing towards our joint account at all. Money is completely separated, and recently he informed me that if I want my financial situation to change, I have to do something about it. Because I've suggested to him, I've been listening to you for the last month or so here and talking about how if we're going to get out of debt, we need to work on it together. I sent him different shows that you've released, and in order for him to listen to it, he's just not on board with it.
Why?
I'm sorry?
Why does he not want to combine your finances?
He says that he's got a plan in place that works for him, and
it does not include you.
Yeah.
So how long has he been having an affair?
Yeah.
Our finances basically have been always separated.
That wasn't what I asked.
I don't know of any particular situation where he is having an affair.
Are you safe?
Yeah, in my home, I'm okay. I just can't speak loudly.
Okay.
You can't what?
Can't speak loudly. So you just called two guys, listening to how you are having to speak in your own home out of fear of a man who calls himself your husband. And I need you to hear from me, who's also a husband, sitting next to another guy who's a husband, that safety can come in the form of physical safety, and it can also come in the form of psychological safety where you don't feel welcome in your own house. And Dave's question about, is he having an affair? I need you to hear the behavior. Hear what your husband's trying to tell you through his behavior. That is, you are not a priority. Right. His priorities are somewhere else, and he is disinterested in a relationship with you.
Correct.
Right? And that's heartbreaking, and I'm saying it real direct, and I know that's hard, but you are not safe at all. You know that, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know that, right?
Yes, I know that, and this is part of the last 4 months has been very revealing.
There you go. And so Dave's question about an affair, that'd be my first question too. Something has changed in this marriage. It was already separate, and we already would have poked at you for having different accounts. Something else has changed. Either he's about to leave, or he already has left, or something has shifted, or he's in trouble, he's got an addiction issue, something else has shifted.
He's in love with something else.
Right. His phone, politics. There's a lot of different things that are distracting him, but we are all in the same house together ever since COVID, including the kids.
How many children do you have?
2 girls.
And what is your income?
Well, right now it's not where it could be. It's about $40,000.
What could it be?
If I went back to my former career that I left to try to do this RV life with him, I could be making upwards of $90 on my old.
So
maybe what?
She could be making upwards of $90 on her own.
Oh, 90. Yeah. I didn't hear the 90. Okay, I'm sorry. And how old are your children?
13 and 9.
Okay.
Can I ask you a real hard question?
Yes.
Is this the picture of love that you want to communicate to them?
No, it's not. And I've been, wrestling with this, like I said, for the last 4 months. And after speaking to some of my friends and coming to the realization that, not only is it financial abuse, it's my mental health, it's my children's mental health.
There you go.
Yep. It's all of it. This is not the person my parents raised. My dad, I bought this house on my own, single. I was completely debt-free when I got married, and that has changed.
Okay,
and
kiddo.
I want to get back to who I was before.
There you go.
So here's what you're going to have to do. Your friends aren't who walk through you with this except as friends, but you need to get a good counselor.
ASAP.
So you need to go see a marriage counselor starting today that is a strong person that will try to help you save your marriage if it's salvageable, that will give you some verbiage and some positions to remind you you're not crazy, because you got 2 guys who are saying you're not crazy.
You're not.
Okay? And we both know this stuff, okay? So you need to get a counselor that can guide you through this. You don't want to do this off of a radio call, and you don't want to do this off of your friend's opinion over a glass of wine. You need to get a counselor in your corner that can give you some ways to explain to your husband that what will amount to ultimately an ultimatum.
A boundary.
A boundary that says you are going to re-engage or you're going to disengage. Right. We're not going to play here in the middle, and I'm not going to be abused at this level anymore. And you got to have someone help you set that boundary, not 2 guys on the radio. But you're not crazy, and you need to do this, and you need to do this right now. John, we got to go back to that last caller for a second, because there's a whole lot of that in America today.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of different ways that husbands and wives interact over money. There's a situation where they work together, and everything's combined, and they make decisions together, And when they make decisions on their spending and their investing, they realize that they are truly adding a level of unity, a level of oneness to their relationship, a level of communication to their relationship, and that's plan A. And it has the highest probability of increasing the quality of your marriage and the highest probability of you becoming wealthy. Plan A does. Plan B is to healthy, mentally mature, emotionally mature people who operate financially like roommates, but both of them have a vote, and there is a mutual respect, and there's communication between them, but they run separate accounts. That's a plan B. That lowers the probability of wealth building and the quality of the marriage substantially, but it still functions. Plan C, that's even worse, is mom or dad, husband or wife, one of the two, is in charge. And the other one is doled out money as an allowance. Well, I got to check with mom. I'll see if I got any money. Meaning the wife is in charge of the money. Or I got to ask my husband because he handles all the money. And or I don't know what we've got. And they die. The one that handles the money dies, and the other one just left clueless and with no skills because they don't have decades of handling anything. They basically are a glorified child being taken care of by an unglorified parent in that setting, and that is damaging to the relationship, and it's really damaging to the money. Really damaging the money. That plan F, where you fail the test, is one toxic member of the team is in control of the money and the other person.
It's finance. That's abuse.
With toxic financial abuse.
Right.
The extreme of that is there's a high correlation in the data and in the actual practice, and I've seen it on the financial side. I've talked with other coaches. You and I have talked about this. You probably can cite a study. I've just talked to other people that have seen it in practice, that if a husband has extreme control over the finances, to the point that the wife is not allowed to can't go to the grocery store by herself, can't pay any electric bill. She's given $2 at a time, not $2,000 at a time. Extreme control. Probably 90 to 95% of the time he's hitting her. Domestic violence tied to that. If there's that level of control, you can just about count on it. That last one gets really close to that.
That's why my first question was, are you safe, right? Because you could feel it.
She wanted to say safe was emotional abuse, but she's upstairs and can't speak loudly because he's downstairs.
That's right.
Which makes me wonder about that whole thing.
And how many calls have we taken, you and I have taken, that have a couple on, they disagree, they're either laughing about it or they're in jest but serious. That's the first one of these where somebody's hiding upstairs saying, help.
It's not the first one, sadly, but it won't be the last one. But the point of us bringing this up is, to outline what A plan is, B plan is, C plan is, and F plan is. Here's the thing. Every one of those, regardless of who you are and which player you are in that role, is a choice to go forward that way.
Right.
And I would encourage every one of you to choose to move towards the A plan.
Yeah.
Or if you are unsafe, to choose to get out.
Yeah.
Whether you're unsafe emotionally or you're unsafe physically. I don't tell people to file divorce, and I don't tell people to file bankruptcy, but there are situations where you're unsafe, you need to get out of there.
And if you find yourself, she mentioned something at the end of that call that just buried itself in my heart a little bit. She said, this isn't who I am. I've looked up, I bought this house, I bought it on my own, I had a great career, I was debt-free, and now I'm somebody else. That's common language of somebody who's in an abusive relationship. I have become somebody else in order to keep myself safe, keep my kids safe, keep this guy from
keep his rage,
me.
Keep his rage down.
That's right. And when you look in the mirror and say, who are you? Who have you become?
Because there's a rage person in your life.
That is signal number one. Call somebody and get some help right away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's the wrathful man Proverbs talks about is a dangerous character.
Golly, man.
It's a dangerous character. And the sad thing is that he's probably has very low coping skills himself, and that's what drives him to rage.
That's right, yeah. And I'd love for him to get some help as well. And she mentioned something. The number of calls I'm taking, Dave, on my show, the data is bearing it out. The folks over the last 24 months who have gotten psychotic about their cell phones and new data and new information and news. It's destroying people. Put your phones down and say, I got a problem, and go re-engage. Or call
you get a human being.
Get a counselor. Yes.
You do not need turn your stupid screen off
God,
and get around human beings. I mean, it's screen time. People have gone down the conspiracy theory or alternate theory or whatever you want to call it, rabbit hole, and they live there.
They've moved in.
Yeah. And so I've had to put up a boundary in my life. I've got a certain number of acquaintances / friends that I'm like, not here.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about COVID anymore. I'm tired of it.
There you go.
It's no longer fun. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're all stupid. All of you are stupid. I'm just not talking about it anymore, And if I die from it, y'all can make fun of me then. It's fine. Right. But it's all good. And you can be mad at Dave Ramsey, and you're already mad at him, so screw it. Whatever. It's okay. So, but I mean, this whole thing, you've got to, this rage that has welled up inside of started with a quarantine and has driven people, the fear off of that. It's an existential crisis of another kind.
It is. And we are feeling a mass psychosis, man. We've got, dude, and this is how nonsense gets started, Dave, that you can't wheel back. And so I want people to put their phones down and go call a friend. Call and ask your close buddies, have I been raged out? And if they're good friends, they'll be honest with you. Say, no. Or they'll look you out and say, yeah, we've been worried about you.
Yeah.
I've had those moments in my life, man.
Well, you get in fight mode and you stay jacked up.
And you never get off fight. You just go looking for the next fight, the next fight, the next fight.
Yeah. And it's a jacked up thing. And then all you do is just keep Fox News on or CNN on, whichever version you are.
And they'll feed it to you.
And they'll make sure you're pissed off.
All 24/7. That's how they get paid.
Exactly. And if not, you can turn on your local news and a tornado's going to kill you! But yeah. Oh, my God. There's a snowstorm! It's like, oh, jeez. Just get in the truck and drive to work.
Or don't, but pick one. Don't be
or don't, but don't be
maniacal about it.
Turn the TV off.
Turn it off.
It's white powder. It's going to be okay. It'll be all right. And so, but the wussification of America, this idea that we don't know how to fight through something, and then when we get into this, we don't have the character structure to fight like a man. Instead, we fight like a boy. And
through power and control, and
jacked up bully mode instead of manly, righteous anger at something that's truly principled and wrong. And so you become an activist. God help you, because you don't have anything else to do. It's weird. It's weird. It's happening out there. And so if you're in those situations, folks, get some help.
Call somebody. Please
call somebody. Get somebody in your corner. Walk you out of it. And put the phone down. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brandon joins us up next. He is down the street here in Nashville, Tennessee. Brandon, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great. What's going on?
So basically I'm calling because I'm 24. I recently married last year of June. We have a 5-month-old kid.
Oh, congrats.
And thanks. And I am scared for myself. I know that I haven't been doing the best. I am trying, though, every single time. I just got out of the Army in January. I got a good job that it's so good that I plan on staying there for life in Portland, Tennessee. And I'm making about $6,500 a month. $2,300 of that is from the VA, tax-free. I'm in $64,000 in debt, and $52,000 of that is vehicles, which is a truck and a car, and $12,000 of that is credit cards. Every paycheck I get paid weekly, I put money in the savings, and I pay everything as much as I can. Aside from that, take care of the family. But I'm getting scared because I have a problem where I have a spending problem. My wife is great. She's more of the savings person. And I have this problem where if I see something, I'm afraid if I don't get it then, I'll never get it again, or I'll never have the opportunity. And about of the $6,500 a month, about $4,000 of that goes away to all that stuff. And I want to be, I'm
all right.
I'm struggling to where, I have money, I'm surviving, taking care of the family good, but obviously I'm not
Dude,
where
you
I'm
are
wanting
worth
to
more
be.
than surviving, Brandon. And thank you so much for your service to this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the deal. You are a dad now. This is not 21-year-old Brandon having a good time, living his life. This is Brandon as a father, as a husband, and that means we have to make adult decisions, and that means these vehicles are probably gone this week. And it means we're not going to have the fanciest, newest toys. We're going to drive a beater car because we have to get our family to financial safety. And I can feel that fear in your voice. You told me you're scared. So are you willing to do something so that you can remove this fear and stress out of your life?
So here's the thing. Before I go to the vehicles, we're moving on April 21st, and that's where we had $9,000 in savings. You guys are probably going to be mad at me for this.
I'm not mad at you.
We had no furniture. Right now, we're living in a place where it's life-threatening to where, I wouldn't say life-threatening, but it's very disgusting. We are very organized and everything, but my family is living with roaches. Thankfully, the kid can't crawl yet. And the renter guy, it's all under the table. He's nice. He's a good guy, but he's lazy. So we're moving immediately to a very nice place, very nice apartment complex. So that's where all the money went. I outright bought a very good bed, couch, everything that we need to survive and live comfortably. Back to the vehicles, I am willing to, but I'm also scared because, my dream vehicle is a Tacoma, and I have it. I got it brand new 2020.
You're living the nightmare, dude.
Brandon, you can get a Tacoma later. There's lots of Tacomas.
If this was such a dream, you wouldn't be calling us.
So Brandon, I hear such a scarcity mindset with you. So here's what I want to reset. All of this, the decisions that we're going to be talking about in this phone call, it's for a short period of time, okay? I feel like the Ramsey show, the brand, gets such a bad rap sometimes because everyone's like, you just want people driving crappy cars and not going on vacation. No, the slogan is you live like no one else, so later you get to live and give like no one else. These sacrifices, Brandon, is not for your entire life. If we told you to do it for your entire life, we'd be crazy. I wouldn't listen to us. This is for a short period of time. For a few years of your life, you're going to get your crap cleaned up. You're going to feel the best, the most peace you have ever felt as a man to be able to take care of your family with cash in the bank, living in a good spot, maybe not driving your dream car. All of that's going to be settled. Then you get to say, wow, Brandon, I really want a Tacoma. Guess what? You're going to have the money to go get a Tacoma, Brandon. It's going to happen. It's just not happening right now. And the problem is this instant gratification, and you're overcompensating, right? Like you're in a crappy spot right now where you're living. So we need to go get in a really nice spot with really nice furniture and all this. You got to find a middle ground, Brandon. So I want you guys to, sell the cars tomorrow. I want you to get $1,000 ASAP, and then I want you to start working on this credit card debt and pay it off. But with these cars gone, it's going to help the debt amount, and then I want you guys saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. And with your job, everything that you guys are doing, in 24 months, Brandon, your life is going to look different. We're going to give you a free membership, a year membership to Ramsey Plus for you and your wife to work together on this plan.
Was she unclear? No, she was not. Thank you for that, Rachel. If you are driving your dream truck and you live with roaches, you are not living the dream. You're living a nightmare, dude. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I was just calling because I've recently gotten some good news. I'm having a baby on the way. Very, very excited for it. But I just moved back up north. I was living in Louisiana for a while, and I just got a job up here. I just do sales, and she is talking about moving to Louisiana because that's where her family lives. And obviously, I'm not gonna.
This is weird.
Are y'all not together?
What do you mean she's moving to Louisiana and you're in Chicago?
Or not to Louisiana, to Tennessee. I apologize.
Why is she moving and you're not? I don't understand. What's going on?
So we're no longer together. And yeah. So
lead with that next time, dude. That's a big part of the story.
For a minute, I thought we were a happy little family with a picket fence. Okay.
No, not quite yet.
Not even. No, not
so
even
you hooked
close.
up with your ex. She's pregnant.
So your ex-wife or girlfriend?
Girlfriend. Okay.
How long ago did you break up, in quotes?
About a month ago, almost 3 weeks to a month. We still talk every day. We're on good terms and all that sort of good stuff, which is what I want. If we are going to be separated, I'd still want to, be.
So what's your question
and all that good jazz? So I just had a lot of questions as far as moving down to Tennessee because she did ask me or she was interested in me doing that so I could be closer to them. And I just had a lot of questions about, budgeting with the baby and doing just like, trying to find a house down there. And how would you go through that? I don't have very much debt. I have like $500 on my credit card, and that's pretty much it. And that's getting paid off. So luckily I'm about to be out of debt, which is a very good feeling. But
how long have you known about this?
What was that?
How long have you known about this?
We found out.
No, I don't know. We didn't. She did. And then when did she tell you? You're not together.
December. Yeah, December, when we were living in Louisiana, and then we moved back up. We were together still, and then we just recently separated. So
you're confusing me because I think you're so jumbled up. So are you telling me you knew she was pregnant before you broke up?
Yes, yeah. It's been a mutual breakup, so it's not been like any sort of.
So you didn't recently find out you were pregnant and get this good news. That's what you led with. That wasn't the truth. You knew she was pregnant and you broke up with her.
That way.
Why'd you break up with her?
We just argued a lot. It was a lot of just back and forth, and
so here's the deal. This woman is going to be in your life for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And so whether you get back with her or not, it sounds like there's a lot of YOLO and, well, we just argue. Dude, you got to be past that now. You're bringing a human into the world.
Yeah.
I would get with a relationship counselor ASAP, because y'all gonna have to learn to talk, to communicate, you think being together and raising this kid's hard. You're gonna try to do it in separate houses. It's gonna be chaos. It's hard. And the fact that you haven't already moved, I don't even know what we're talking about here. My daughter has been gone for 4 days, 5 days, and I'm having trouble breathing. I can't wrap my head around your thought process.
No, so that's where I was. So I am gonna move down there with them. They're gonna be doing that.
No, not with them. Y'all broke up. You made a big boy decision. Yeah, you broke up. You're gonna move your butt down here by this child, and then you're gonna work to learn how to communicate with her.
Them. There's not a with.
Yeah, I'm gonna live near them. That way we can raise the baby together.
Actually, it's not even near them. It's near the baby.
Near the baby. You broke up.
Yeah.
And y'all are playing dating still on the phone. That's why I don't think y'all are done. I think y'all acted immaturely and things got stressful and you just split up.
Yeah, pretty much everything you've done has been an impulse decision. All of these decisions have been impulse. The moves, the pregnancies, the shacking up, the breaking up, the moving to Nashville or Tennessee. You guys make decisions about every 30 seconds. And
that's not good for your finances, but it's fine until you decide to bring a human into the world.
It's not good, period. You never make good decisions this way. Y'all need to slow it down. Slow your roll. Slow down. These are big boy, big girl deals. You can't, breaking up with someone that you have a baby with is a big deal. Well, we're arguing. Oh, well, give me a break. I've been married 43 years. We're arguing is an ongoing.
I was going to say, I wasn't going to say it, but I've been in the room with several of those. Yeah.
We're arguing means she told me what to do and I didn't do it. Wait a minute, that was today.
But this idea that we're just going to break up because we're arguing, you're going to argue the rest of your life because y'all are raising a human together. And so figuring out how we're going to communicate, even if y'all go in the room and say, hey, we're done romantically, but we're going to figure out how to do this, at least give it a shot. For the sake of this kid, all the data suggests y'all have to be working together for this kid to have a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, we're with you to move into Tennessee, but I want you guys, both of you, to make slower, huge decisions. The good decision-making paradigm is this. The more important the decision, the more information you need about the decision, and the longer time you should take making the decision. You've done that the opposite on all of these fronts. That's what's killing me here. So you can impulse a pack of gum. If you're going to buy a car, you need to slow down and take your time. It's a lot of money. Okay?
If you're going to choose
you can impulse walking across the room and talking to a girl. You don't impulse breaking up with a girl who's got your child inside of her.
Or think it this way. Because of some arguments, you have decided, I want my child to have a single mom. I'm going to be very careful about that decision.
Ooh.
Very careful.
Yeah. So I'm picking on you, but dude, we love you and we want you to win, and we're observing the patterns there.
And I want your baby
and
to
if
win.
you don't break those patterns, you're going to replicate them. And that's what I want for you. And I want that for your baby as well.
Yeah.
The most positive thing you said in the entire conversation is how excited you are about the baby.
As you should be.
And that's wonderful. That's good news for the baby and good news for you. It means you're a good man. So work through these slowing down on big decisions. And so, before you decide to move to Tennessee and chase her, you probably ought to go meet with her and a good relationship counselor. Talk about what it looks like if you made the move.
Here's the deal. I'm going to give you all 3 months of free BetterHelp with a licensed marriage therapist, licensed relationship therapist that'll talk to you guys. So hang on the line here. We'll get you hooked up with that.
There we go.
And then y'all can talk from different states even if you need to, but y'all can begin.
But I think you probably do need to go to Tennessee, but I think you should do it in a different context. In the sense of you ought to have made the decision, I've got a good job, move when I make the move. I'm not just going to go down there and hope it works out.
I got a place already.
I got a place figured out. I've got a set of relational boundaries and rules involved with this ex-girlfriend. And how we're going to work on the child. What are the financial implications? How much are you going to child support? What are those kinds of things? All of this you ought to have all that figured out before you move. Yeah. And it might take you a month to figure that out. And you got a month. So slow down on big decisions. Get more information and more information and more information. When you've got all your information stacked up and you go slowly, we call that wisdom. It's the opposite of impulsing. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm in a really good spot. I'm 37. I have a net worth probably about 1.3, 2 properties. Each of those properties does have a mortgage. One's at 200, one's at 250, my primary house. The other one is rented at a pretty good profit. My life circumstances have changed a bit. I had twins, cool. and thinking about, I've had a couple of blessings come into my life. Changes things. Wife obviously had to stop working, but right now I'm at a crossroads where I'm debating what to do. I've seen all of the money we've printed and inflation, and definitely a little bit. I have money invested in the stock market. I'm pretty cash heavy at the moment and debating what to do with that cash. Do I have 3.75 rates on both my properties, and 25 on one and 20 years left on the other. No other debts, no credit card. Paid off all my student loans, paid off all my cars. Pay cash for pretty much everything now. I put in solar, paid cash for that.
What's the balance on the mortgages?
200 on the rental property. That's cash flowing about $1,200 a month, and that's after paying the mortgage and all that, and then $250,000 on the house that I live in.
So how much cash you're sitting on?
Cash. So outside my IRAs are at about $450. My actual cash on hand is flush cash is about $80 with another $50 kind of just invested in the market. So I'm debating, I'm thinking there might be a dip. Do I leave it there? I also have two $25,000. Florida has a prepaid thing for future student loans for your kids. So I'm on a 5-year plan with those. I can pay them off if I want. Mm-hmm. I can pay off my property. I can start to I cash flow probably around 15 a month.
What do you make a year? What's your personal income?
About $350.
Okay. James, you've done extremely well. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, what a beautiful job you've done. Thank you. The only point that our discussion would have with you is not to help you become a millionaire. You already did that, okay? And not to help you do that. It might be just that, I'm sitting here with the buildings I'm sitting in, for instance, are about $600 million in value, roughly, okay? And they're paid for. And so, and that's just a portion of, I mean, that's the larger portion of our real estate portfolio, but I've got a bunch of other real estate. I love real estate. And of course, I own Ramsey Solutions as well, which has a value, and so on. So I'm a few years ahead of you is all I'm saying. I'm not better. I'm just ahead of you. I'm older. Dadgum, near twice your age. And so you've just done extremely well. So if I were talking to you, and I don't know exactly what you're asking, I would probably just give you a couple things I would do, and that would just be fine tuning an engine that's already running really well. Okay, this is not the car's not about to blow up. You're not about to bankrupt. You're not doing anything stupid. You're doing a whole lot of smart things. So I have found, and you listen to us for 10 minutes, you know this, that the less debt I have, the more peace I have, and the better my cash flows are, and the lower my risk is. Thus, the peace is up. Less anxiety. So, for instance, this building, we have a pandemic hit. I've got 1,100 team members that are on payroll. I want to make that payroll. I don't have to pay myself the rent because there's no mortgage on the stupid building. So I don't have any stress. So that's an extreme situation, but with more zeros on it. But it still outlines the idea that first thing I would do if I were in your shoes is I'd start working towards getting my home paid off without cashing out any retirement to do it. Then the next thing I do is I pay that rental off. And
okay, so pay the house first, then the rental?
Yes. I want my personal residence where I sleep to have zero mortgage. There is more than just math and investing going on here. There's a spiritual element to this, a psychological and a relational element to this. Your wife will feel different. You will feel different when you lay your head on the pillow. You don't think you will, but when it is paid for, you will. Okay?
So my one counter to that, and this is, I guess, the next point of information is I'm debating. So I bought my house back in 2012, so I have it at a great interest rate and a great value. The other thing is if I ever wanted to, now that I have twins, which I have plenty of room, I have enough room, 2,100 square feet, 4 bedrooms. So there's enough room, but when family comes to visit, my parents are getting older, our parents are getting older, people are coming to stay for longer than we maybe want.
A paid-off house will sell as quick as a mortgaged house.
I'm not thinking about paying it off. I'm thinking about expanding it.
Okay, pay it off expand it with cash. You make $350,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what's happened is you hit a plateau and you quit pinching every little nickel, and you relaxed a little bit, and it's gotten a little sloppy.
Okay.
It's what I'm seeing. I might be wrong, but
if
I were you, I'd pay off your house.
Goal. I think you've been working so hard, putting your head down and plowing forward to hit whatever the goal was. And you've gotten there, and now you just need another very clear goal to keep you motivated.
And the only other thing I would do is I wouldn't do Florida prepaid college.
Yeah, that's garbage.
I would just do good mutual funds and a 529. A lot more flexibility, a lot more options to do for college, and you can make a much better rate of return than prepaid college. Anytime you prepay something, James, your rate of return is the inflation rate of the item. Tuition inflation rate's been about 8% for the past 2 decades, and so you're making about 8% on your money. You could do better than that in a good mutual fund, and you'd have more flexibility. So I would move the prepaid stuff into a 529. Again, a minor tune-up, paying off your house, minor tune-up, and paying off the mortgage on the rental, minor tune-up, somewhere in there, cash flowing the expansion if you want to expand or change that house that you're living in. Any of that's okay. But you keep going back to the mortgage interest rate. I don't give a crap what your mortgage interest rate is. Mine's 0. You can't beat my rate. And you can't beat the cash flow I've got on our properties. They cash flow like a bandit. And I don't think about my home at all. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come up in my financial brain. It's just a really calm, safe place to go sleep.
Yeah.
And it just changes everything. And because I've been debt free on the house for so long that it just my spirit doesn't even connect to that. I can't imagine how I would how I would sleep if I had a mortgage.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, because I've been doing it for so long. Mm-hmm. So that's all we would do, James. But again, you're 97% on board with what we would do. Those are just a few tune-up things, and way to go, hero. I mean, you killed it. 37-year-old millionaire. Man, excellent. Well done, well done. and did it from nothing, starting from nothing. Didn't inherit it. He's not a rock star, not an actor, not an NFL star, not to our knowledge anyway.
And if he plans on buying more real estate, obviously, cash for that.
Yeah, pay cash after you get the other stuff paid off. And you could build a really large portfolio 10, 15 years from now of real estate if you fooled around with this and have it all paid for in the process and pay cash for it as you go. It wouldn't, once you clear these 2 properties. So, but that's what we would do. You do whatever you want. You're obviously not a dumb guy. So well done, hero. Proud of you. That's very cool. Those guys are everywhere. People that have done smart stuff with money. In a culture where most people spend like they're in Congress.
Oh yeah, that's normal. Go into debt.
By the way, don't miss $350,000 income, $1.7 million net worth.
Yeah, 37 years old.
2,200 square foot house.
Yeah.
Don't miss that.
He's living below his means.
He not 8,300, 2,200.
Living on less than he makes.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Denise is starting us off in Los Angeles this hour. Hey, Denise, how are you?
Good. It's an honor to speak with you, Mr. Ramsey.
You too. How can I help?
Just have a question. I am totally debt-free, but the way I came about it is kind of not easy for me to enjoy. I was actually going through a divorce, and my husband passed away before it became final in December. So basically, all the things I thought I was going to have to sell, keep, or split became mine. And I got a couple of life insurance policies. So because of that, I was able to pay off my house and pay all my bills, and I'm debt-free, but I'm not able to really feel like I can enjoy it. I feel like compared to other people that have been on your show that have scrimped and saved, and not that I haven't done that in the past, but this was kind of a windfall and unexpected, and it's hard for me to just enjoy it.
That's a human emotion. We don't celebrate death, and we don't celebrate divorce. I mean, those are both painful things for people to go through, and obviously you all weren't getting along, but you didn't wish him dead, I suspect. So,
no.
So, I mean, you would be like weird if you wanted to jump up and down and throw confetti because somebody died,
Right.
I mean, that's, that would be strange. So I can get that you don't want to celebrate it because it wasn't due to effort, but it doesn't mean it was a bad thing or that you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong.
Right. And it's just, I feel good about it. I've taken a load of stress off. I'm just,
sure.
I'm putting away 20% of retirement. I've got a good emergency fund. I've done everything I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, it's just bittersweet.
It is. It's very bittersweet. And it's just kind of unusual because the death is one thing, but the divorce is just another layer to it.
Yeah. So did he have any heirs or children outside of
no.
that would have gotten the money had the split occurred?
No, not really. I mean, we didn't have any children between the two of us.
And he didn't have any prior marriage or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
There's just, it's just the weirdness of it. And maybe I helped you to just call and say out loud it's weird, and me to go, hey, you're right, it's weird. But, next chapter of your life is we're going to take this horrible situation and, move forward from it and the benefit of the bad situation, and we're going to turn it into positive things in the future. And so all you can do is take the money that's freed up now can do good things, right?
Right.
You can be generous, and you can grow wealth, and you can help others, and, generosity and all that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of good things that can come of this. But I'm with you. The way it came about is not something anybody would sign up for.
Right. And I am making the decisions I need to make with it. But I have the book Retire Inspired. I'm starting to read that. So, it's just an unusual circumstance, and not too many people.
I agree. I had a lady call in one time that was even more, even worse than this in my mind. They had lost a child,
A child had been killed in a car wreck, and they received several $1 million as a result. And it was hard for them. It was hard for them to enjoy that money, you know, because it's a horrible thing to go through. And so, I mean, I get that, but it's not like we're sending the check back, you know. So we can open a memorial in the name of the child, or you could do something in the name of your ex if you wanted to, you know. You're not duty bound to, though. You're not morally bound to do that. But I just want to give you permission to say and to, you know, permission for this to be weird, because it's weird. And just, okay, next, you know?
Okay, yeah, I probably needed to hear that, because it is. It's just a little unusual, and it's not something some people know the situation, some people don't have an idea at all. So
Again, I'm with you. I don't think you ought to be. I think you'd be strange if you were out there throwing confetti and having a big party. That'd be just strange as crud. So, but you know, my kids used to say when you're having an awkward conversation when they were teenagers, they would put their hands together and do their thumbs out, and they called it awkward turtle, like a turtle upside down on its shell and can't do anything, you know, like awkward turtle. And it was like meaning a conversation that they were having was awkward. And you're not having an awkward conversation, but you're having an awkward moment in this phase of your life, is what we're saying. Yes. It's just weird and unusual, but that doesn't mean that it can't be a blessing.
Yes, it's just been, like, as you said, it's just been very bittersweet.
Yeah.
Things are coming about the way I hope they would be, but
it's like that stupid candy we had when we were kids, Sweet Tart, which I never made any sense at all to me that you put those two things together. But, you know, but it's just, you know, sometimes our life deals us those cards, and that's what God has for us. And so I think, can you look forward and be an honorable person and honor God with the possessions that you have by managing them well, for the good of others and for the good of yourself. And if you can, you've done the best you can in a weird situation. And over time, some of the weirdness will begin to shed itself off of this, I guess. So, hey, good call. Very interesting discussion. Thanks for voicing that. I'm sure there's others out there that relate to that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Lindsay is with us in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hello, kind sir. I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, I have a quick question for you. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and we are about, we're pretty new to your program. We've been trying to get it together for a couple years, and are just now starting to get really, really serious. A little bit late, if you ask me, but we're trying. And we have about $23,000 in credit card debt on two of our cards, our Visa and our American Express. And then we have a few thousand on a couple other ancillary cards that we're going to pay off here with tax returns, and we've been, doing it as quickly as possible. My question is, we've never been in this much debt before, and honestly, I'm just freaking out about it. And I'm wondering if I should go back to work to help pay off the debt, or if I should just continue to stay at home with my kids, which I absolutely love to do. Mm-hmm. There is a little bit of, there's extra circumstances. So our 7-year-old is autistic, mm-hmm. and he has a lot of social and behavioral therapies. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people coming to the house to help him, and we go to a lot of appointments, and so it would be an adjustment and a change if I went back to work. Mm-hmm. But I just feel, to be honest, I just feel guilty. I just feel like I'm sitting here not contributing anything financially, and my husband is working like a dog. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. What does he make?
Anyway.
What does he make?
About $65,000, I think, with overtime. He's been working a lot of overtime.
Yeah. And what's the last time you were employed in the marketplace?
Oh, gosh. Our 7-year-old is 7, so I gave my 9 months notice when I got pregnant, so about 8 years.
Okay. And what were you making in those days?
$15 an hour. I was doing accounting. Mm-hmm. It was not anything I loved to do, but just it paid the bills. We lived in Santa Barbara at the time. We were just being young.
So
and
is there
stupid
any
and-
reason to believe you would make much more than that were you to go back in the marketplace today?
No, I mean, well, my family they're in real estate, so I could get my real estate license, and I have my mom and my uncle who are phenomenal at it. They make very good money. They would take me under their wing and help me learn the ropes. So I would probably go do real estate, but then I have to pay for real estate school, which would probably go on the credit cards, or we just pay, save up for it and then do it. But it costs money. I have to get my license, and that's probably what I would end up doing is real estate.
Okay. Well, real estate's a little different because it gives you a lot of flexibility. And the truth is, most people look at houses when other people are off from work. They look at houses when they're off from work, so in the evenings and the weekends, which, by the way, is when your husband's available to help take care of your children.
Right.
So that would be a career that would actually be complementary and allow you to do, regardless of whether you earn money or not. If you wanted to do a career, that's the kind you would want to do, given the stresses on your household. Right. And so, here's the thing: you guys have not been really working this system for very long, have you?
Oh no. Yeah.
You were kind of playing with it around the edges, and he was like half in or not in, and you were trying to do it, and you were like sort of doing your version of my plan, which means you just weren't doing my plan. Is that right?
Right. That's pretty much the case. Yeah. We were just living in Santa Barbara, playing at the beach, having fun.
So so now you're both on board and you're both ready to go?
Oh, we're really now we're like extreme. We're we haven't eaten out in a really long time. We're I think seeing our credit card debt.
How's the budget?
We did every dollar, and that scared us to death. And it's funny because I heard someone on your program say they didn't really know how far in debt they were, and I thought to myself, how could you not know? And then we get on every dollar, and I seriously burst into tears and thought, how in God's name did we get here? Like, how did this even happen?
Here's what I would tell you today. Okay.
Yeah.
You're finally ready, both of you, to do what it takes to win. You can get out of this debt with his income, and you're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing for you to feel guilty about. You're taking care of your kids, especially the fact you got a special needs one on your hands, which is double, triple time, and intense. And were we to hire someone economically to do the job that you are doing, it would cost a lot.
Yeah, it would, probably.
And so I know it would. You hire somebody to take care of an autistic child? That costs a lot of money. I mean, it's a different kind of a care, right?
Yeah, well, he's super high functioning, but he does have
but
emotional
it's not
issues.
just hiring a nanny. You know what I'm talking about. So no, my point is that you are very economically valuable sitting where you're sitting, and you have nothing to feel guilty about at all. I think the two of you need to work this plan hard for the first time ever, and I think you can do it. If you've not gone through Financial Peace University, now's the time for you to go through. Not because you're broke, but because you're ready to learn. You're actually ready to submit yourself to a plan. Hold on, I'll have Kelly give it to you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So a little bit of background here. So I'm 27, and over the last few years have begun to come into an inheritance at the same time that my birth family has resurfaced. It's become a little bit tricky as a result there, just because, I always knew I was dealt an amazing hand, but, kind of seeing, what could have been has been pretty emotionally jarring. So I'm wondering, number one, what's the responsible way to handle this? Because I don't think doing nothing is an option, but at the same time, want to make sure that I kind of do justice to my grandfather and my parents who have kind of changed my life and my family's life, putting me in this situation.
So tell me a little bit more. When you say your birth family, are you adopted?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. And so your adoptive grandfather, he's the one who's leaving you the inheritance?
So I was adopted at birth to a family. So they're who I consider, my family, because I grew up with them. So that side of the family is where the inheritance is coming from. Okay. Birth family is, found out I was the oldest of a sister who's 19 and pregnant, and then two other male siblings, and then my birth mom, of course.
Gotcha. And how much money are we talking here?
So my grandpa was smart, so he stepped it in around metrics like graduation date and age and a couple of things. So it's up to $750,000 now.
Okay.
It'll likely cross over $1 million in the next few years.
So it's pretty significant. Tell me why you feel, or where the feelings are coming from, that you have some sort of allegiance, or you owe, or you need to put some money on the table for your birth siblings.
I think it's that old adage, right? To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah, that adage doesn't apply here at all. Not even close. That's what a guilty person tells themselves.
Yeah.
Why do you feel guilty?
I think especially being the oldest sibling, kind of seeing. I think my sister, probably has the drive to kind of get her life on track. So it's wanting to support. I saw my parents and my grandfather do good things with kind of the situation that they created and put themselves in. So I'm kind of navigating. I know I could make a difference, and it wouldn't necessarily change my day to day. So it just hasn't seemed reasonable at this point to do nothing. But then there's also been some stuff initially that I tried to give that didn't necessarily go where I wanted it to. In terms of my mom kind of repurposing some of that in a way that was less than ideal, and it didn't actually get to my sister. So
that's the thing, is you have no control of this money once it's given. Zero.
And bro, you are setting yourself up for a catastrophic world of hurt. I 1000% agree with you. I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes. If I found out I had a whole other family and I got adopted by a family who was so great, and they took me in, and they, like you said, like I had an amazing life and I won the lottery, and my other brothers and sisters were adopted out and they did not get the shake that I got, I would feel a sense of I owe or obligation. And I need you to hear me say, you don't owe anybody anything. You can choose to give. And those are two very different motivations. If you think you owe, you are constantly going to be, it's a bottomless pit. It's a hole that can never be filled. If you say, hey, I won the lottery with my adoptive family, I got such amazing life, and I want to do that for other people, then that's when you can sit down with your sister, and very similar to how your grandpa did it, who's very wise. Hey, sister, when you're ready, I'm going to pay for college tuition, but I'm going to pay directly to the school. When you're ready, I will cover 3 years of daycare for your kids so you can get ahead financially, but I'm going to pay directly. I'm not going to give that money to anybody. You can love them deeply and support them, and also recognize that they're terrible money managers. All three of those things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to give your mom $25,000 when she doesn't have the skills to handle $25,000, because then you're going to end up resenting her, and that's not fair to her. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that does make a lot of sense.
You'll hand her a live snake, she'll get bit, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you gave her the snake. Like, I wouldn't do that. And you're going to have to weather people coming out of the woodwork for your money.
You're about to be Bank of Peyton once they find out that you're just giving away money like a game show. And they're going to be coming back.
And Peyton will bail us out, and how dare you, and you got this, and
you did it last time, why not now? Why are you so stingy now?
Can't believe you don't even remember your raising. You don't even remember where you came from, right? They're not your real family. You're going to hear all that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Have they asked for money, or is this just your own survivor's guilt talking?
So that's the thing. My mom, before I found out she was doing things I didn't want with it, she would make up excuses, but my sister has always pushed it away. She's on her own. She's got, a newborn, obviously very young. And that's kind of where, that almost makes you want to give more, right? Because she has a similar thing of like, you don't owe me anything. I just want to have, the relationship.
Is she a single mom?
Yeah.
And what needs does she have right now that you feel like you could help with?
the kid has special needs, so I know that's like they're below poverty line. So it's such a stark contrast.
So is that child care? What would you exactly help with versus just writing a check?
That's what I was thinking.
A grocery gift card? What would you want to do?
I think childcare would be the most impactful thing because it would free her up to kind of take the steps necessary to stabilize her life, whether that be education or.
Can she do that living in your birth mom's home?
So they live in a different state than I do currently.
No. But can your sister thrive under your mom's roof?
Oh, no. They have a very toxic relationship.
So maybe offering an apartment like down the street from, I don't know how much money you want to put on the table here, and I don't know what you do for a living. I'd want you to make sure you invest this thing so you're taking care of yourself and your future family long term. But I'm with George. I think you if you throw a checkbook at a problem, often everybody loses, right? It just becomes full of waste, and it becomes full of, well, what about this? And I feel like this. When you spend money to solve a particular problem, you get different kind of results.
Yeah.
I will pay for you to move, and I will pay for 1 year of an apartment right down the street from me, and that's going to cost $25,000. I'll put that on the table if you want to get out of mom's house. Now we're talking. Right?
Yeah.
And that's a finite cost, and she doesn't have to feel guilty for just being on the take forever, but it's an actual problem being solved right now.
Yeah.
The more specific you get, the better. And you can remain in control if you do what John said and go, I'm going to give directly to the need versus just throwing a check at it. But you're a noble guy, and
yeah,
I got nothing but respect for you, man. Good luck with your decision.
But you don't owe anybody anything. You get to give. And that's a totally different spirit.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Mary is in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Oh my gosh, what a privilege it is to speak with you.
You too.
Oh, thank you. So I have something kind of weighing heavy on my heart, and I was hoping to seek your advice. So I'm 31 years old. My husband is a couple of years older than me, and my daughter is 6. I have a very close relationship with my parents, and they're in their 70s. They recently informed me that my daughter and I will be receiving a little over $1 million in inheritance when they pass away, which is wonderful. That's very generous. What I'm having a hard time with is I'm adopted. They're not my biological parents. And they also informed me that my brother, who's my father's biological son, will not even be receiving half of that. And he and I don't have a good relationship anyways. I mean, it's civil. We're not close by any means. He's 20 years older than I am.
Why the discrepancy?
And I think it's because they don't have a very close relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's from my father's first marriage, and they didn't raise him together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how can we help?
So my question is, how can I get over this guilt if and when they pass? How do I maintain a good relationship with my brother when that happens?
It sounds like you don't have a great relationship right now with your brother.
It's civil. We enjoy seeing each other, but we just have such a huge age gap and just completely different lives that we don't really communicate with each other that much.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you need to free yourself of this because it's not a decision you made. So there's nothing to feel guilty about. There's relational equity that you have with the family, and that turns into financial equity with the inheritance.
The guilt would be if you did something. You didn't do anything. So, and I think it's probably named wrong. Instead, let's name it something else. Because I get that you have angst about it. I get that you feel kind of like, ugh, well, this is not going to go well, and I'm going to get blamed. That's kind of how it feels, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know what we call that, but guilt would be if you did something wrong. You didn't do anything, so this is not on you. Unless you manipulated your parents into a bigger inheritance, but that's not what you said. So I'm going with your story. So first, let's just say out loud, your parents are cowards to dump this on you. They should call him up and tell him what he's getting and what you're getting. They did that with you.
They have informed him
that you're getting $1 million and he's getting $500,000.
He's getting about $300,000.
Okay. Have they told him what you're getting?
I believe so. They said that they would.
All right. So
I had asked them to.
That's good. That's what they should do. I'll retract my statement that they're not cowards then if they did that. Because they're dumping the problem of the relational angst on you upon their death if they don't handle it while they're alive. And so we tell people, read the will while you're alive and tell everybody what they're getting. And if somebody's going to be pissed, let's go ahead and deal with it while I'm alive. And so if they've done that, then I guess brother's already got it figured out that you didn't do anything. He already knows.
Okay.
I would verify that they did that with them. I mean, you told him how much I'm getting and how much he's getting. If not, you should, Mom and Dad, because it's not fair to leave me looking like the bad dog, the bad person at the end of this story, because I didn't do anything here. Right?
Okay.
And if they do that, then maybe brother just looks at it and goes, okay, I don't really talk to him that much anyway, and she hangs out over there all the time. I get it. Like, I have a relative who will leave 100% of their money to one child and will leave the other child nothing, who they have no relationship with. And that's completely understandable. I have a relative that's doing that right now. And I agree with it, by the way. And that's okay. But you shouldn't, you're not entitled to money just because of your DNA. You're entitled to the money if somebody wants to leave it to you. It's their money. They get to do with it what they want. And so he has no real gripe to start with. And so he's $300,000 ahead of what he should be, probably. But
the big thing is not letting his resentment and anger towards her be a reflection of her character.
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with her.
You didn't write this narrative. You just are in the story. You didn't write the story. And so I get that it feels icky, and I really don't disagree with you about that. The only way to remove that is when stuff is awkward or weird, the best way to clean it up is shine light on it.
Call it out.
And all the roaches run to the corner as soon as you turn on the lights. And so if you'll go ahead and just call it out, if they've already called it out, then he has the opportunity to interact with them. And if he wants to be mad at you, I guess he can be. He may call you and say, I'm pissed at you. I don't know. But at least he can get all that out of the way now before the money actually transfers. And even then, you just go, I didn't do it, Yeah,
you have the conversation with them and go, hey, I know this is weird. I had nothing to do with this. I still want to have this relationship with you. I love you.
Yeah.
And you move on from there. And if he can't handle that, that's on him.
Exactly.
If that relationship can't move on.
Exactly. This is not...
She's just a good person and with a big heart, and she feels that
She's
weight.
Sweet. Well, you feel it is an awkward as crud thing, but the way to get rid of the awkward is for Mom and Dad to tell him the same thing they told her.
And the why behind it.
If the why is, if they can do it without being nasty, and just go, this is just our decision, and you don't even have to. You don't have to hurt his feelings too. Just tell him this is what he's getting, this is what she's getting, and leave it at that. But this is why you do a will, and this is why you read the will out loud before you die to all parties concerned, so that everyone knows what's going on, and you can go ahead and get all that weirdness out of the way. And that's a good question, and it's good. You have a good heart for worrying about it, but I think it's on him and on them. It's not on you.
She's got to release it.
Brought to you by CHM, a biblically based alternative to health insurance. Learn more at chministries.org/budget.
So I have some guilt and pride around using child support money. So I was in an abusive relationship. And by the grace of God, I was able to leave when my son was about 3 weeks old.
Oh my gosh,
I met my now husband when my son was 6 months old, and he's now 12. My husband and I had sat and talked and said, we don't want any money. We don't want anything. We want nothing to do with him. Well, the judge made the decision that it's not our choice and it's not our money. It's for our son. So we were just putting all that money in an account. We had some debt, and in 2021, I lost my job, and we needed 4 walls. So we dipped into that account. As of January of 2025, we are officially done with baby step 2. We are completely debt-free.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's very exciting. I'm really happy to be there. But I have about $4,000 from that child support money that we said we'd never use. And I'm wondering if I should just pay it back like a debt and just keep going like if we were on baby step 2, or the connotation of the child support money in the first place just kills me, and I don't know what to do about it.
So this guilt, Sarah, I'm just double checking that the facts are correct. You didn't use this money immorally. It was more of a conviction that you personally had with it because of who it came from. And you just, the thought of using it just feels gross, and you had to use it at one point. But from a legal standpoint, you use it exactly how anyone else would use it, right? To help run the household, because you're taking care of a child, and that other parent is helping with that, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what was the court order? How much and for how long?
It was until he was 18, and it was supposed to be $430. The only money that I've actually seen from that is the COVID money. I was able to get his COVID check. I didn't know that it was coming. My husband adopted our son when he was 4 years old, everything finalized. So that's when the child support stopped. But there's so much arrears that, I will still randomly get like a $12 check.
Okay, so it's
like,
over essentially. You're not getting future payments. You just have this kind of savings sitting here, and you feel like I don't want to touch this money because it feels weird.
Yeah, how much is in that account?
In the account right now is $2,000, and I used 4 of it.
4 of it. And what are you going to What are you going to do with it eventually? Are you going to give it to him when he's 18, or help pay for a car when he's 16, or college, or what do you think?
That's what we were thinking. Just a car or something like that. Like I said, my husband's been around since my son was 6 months old, so my son doesn't know. He doesn't know any different as of right now, and eventually we're going to tell him. We have to tell him, but we're just not there yet. He's not emotionally mature enough to be there yet.
Sure. Okay. So what I'll speak to, I'll speak to the money side of it, Sarah, from the sense that no, this is not a debt that you need to pay. You use the money essentially how the system works, and you use it exactly appropriately. And I know that doesn't sit well with you because of who it's coming from, and that totally makes sense to me. But I think kind of the quote unquote debt going forward, which is not a debt, but is to say, okay, how can we best set up my son to have a life where he, from a financial standpoint, understands money, doesn't have to walk through this debt-free journey, and we're setting him up in order to do that. And that looks like things like maybe college, or helping with his first car, whatever that may look like for you guys. And for me, I wouldn't hold on to that emotional $4,000 anymore, because I think you need to release that. But I think going forward, the motivation now is to pass a great legacy on to your son, right? Regardless of $4,000 or not. So I totally understand how that can feel like, oh my gosh, we use this money and it feels so gross, and I hate it because he's a terrible person. But you guys were in a pinch at the time, and that's what that money's for, is to help take care of your son, and that's what you guys did. So I would let go of that, because emotionally, I think it is holding on to you so deeply.
Yeah.
So in the filing cabinet of your brain, we need to refile this. Instead of child support money from an abusive, awful relationship, this is changing my family tree money to set up my child for a better life than the one I experienced.
Yeah, and Sarah too, give yourself a little bit of grace. If this was a $60,000 thing or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, she was supposed to use it for a down payment on a house, or you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of this magnitude and weight from a dollar standpoint, I feel like we could go at it a different way, because I could see, the more money it is, the more weight it feels, right? So so with this 4,000, I want you to release it for you, Sarah. Again, it's not about the dollars at that point. To me, it's that emotional attachment that's still there to him. And I want that release from you, so whatever that looks like.
Yeah,
with your own
I would have a goal for this money instead of letting it just sit there. It's only going to make, reopen the wound. So I would put it in a 529 plan for college. I would put it in a savings account for a car fund one day, because that day is going to come, and these things cost money, and it's part of the deal. And, there's a shared burden, because that person was a parent, and this is what the court ordered. And so it's hard to just say, release the guilt, Sarah, you're doing great. Mm-hmm. But that's the truth of it. Yeah. It's that hard, and it's that simple to just go, all right, it happened. That was the past, and I'm going to make a better future for my kid now. And it sounds like you guys are thriving, and this child is so lucky to have you two.
Yeah, he's definitely blessed. My husband is literally a godsend, and he took him on like his own. And like I said, nobody knows. There's a couple people, like family knows, but he doesn't know. And my husband stepped up in more ways than I could ever even pray for.
Mm.
Well, and give yourself so much credit, Sarah, because we talk to so many people on this show, and women specifically, that are in a situation, and they don't feel like there's a way out. And whether from its financial type abuse, where a husband's withholding and not allowing,
controlling,
to physical, emotional. I mean, you can fill in the gaps. And
the spectrum is wide.
And to break that cycle is so difficult. And as Dr. John Deloney says, who works with so many people in this area, says that it's rare to have someone actually break it. So when you do, it is a
something to be celebrated.
It's an applause. I mean, it really is, Sarah. So I mean, I just commend you for that. I know that was 12 years ago, but that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, George, when we think about part of the baby steps and what she said, I loved, because it's baby step, they're past baby step 2. They're moving on for that fully funded emergency fund and so forth. And there is something so freeing from the sense of, yes, the dollars and cents are there, right? We're being wise with our actual tactical money. That's, very important. But it's so much bigger than that. It is like the place where money sits in our lives, the value of which we give it. And when you are out of debt, you have that emergency fund. You don't have to be obsessed with it. You don't have to stress about it, because you're setting yourself up so well. And what that speaks to your kids and a household is everything. Like, to me, that's part of family changing the family tree. It's not just from a monetary standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint, that money doesn't have to be a stress point in our lives, because we have control over it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of belief there. People think there's some sort of like financial DNA that you're born with because of the environment and place and parents, but we're proving it with Sarah that you can break chains. You might be the first one in your family to become debt-free, to create a better life for your kid to go to college debt-free, for you to have a home that you own free and clear, for you to become a millionaire. And it's something you get to choose, and it's a daily choice, and it's one of the hardest patterns to break because of all the shame and guilt from the past, and your belief system is so tied up. And you talk about this in Know Yourself, Know Your Money, the different money classrooms you grew up in. It really shapes you, and you have to really try to break all of the bad stuff to get to the good stuff.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, and as parents, whatever you can do, we always say more is caught than taught, but from, again, that standpoint of money, we're going to get in control of our money, because yes, from a monetary standpoint, we need to know where our money's going. We want to be debt-free. We want to start, investing and letting the math work for us, like all of that. But more importantly, realizing that money's a tool. It is a tool to create a life that you love. Like that's what it is. It is not good. It is not bad. It doesn't have morals. And so how can that lesson and where money is placed in your life and in your heart and your identity, what your kids see, that speaks louder than words. This is The Ramsey Show. CHM isn't health insurance. It's a health cost-sharing ministry. Check it out for yourself at chministries.org/budget.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So, I understand that you guys promote outrageous giving, and I am in a position in my life where I'm able to do so. But I also think about cheerfully giving and where do you draw the line? So, I recently had a niece who reached out to me to help her with her down payment on a new apartment. She did state that she just found out she was pregnant. She hadn't told anyone, but just shared that with me, but has a past of asking a lot of family members, including me in the past, for money, potentially for drugs and bad boyfriend experiences. And I feel like there's a bit of manipulation in terms of making sure I'm the only one who's been told about her pregnancy, where we don't really have a solid relationship either. But my sister, her mom had passed away when she was 7, and unfortunately, dad and stepmom didn't treat her well. So I feel some sort of an obligation. And like I said, I'm in a position to, but where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line on being cheerfully giving?
Well,
and sort of that, that nagging.
Sure.
Feeling.
Yeah. Because you don't want to enable. And that's a little bit of the feeling with this situation. So not every chance we have to give is going to be the right situation to give. Just because the opportunity's there doesn't mean that we actually have to take it. And I think this would be a situation that, finding that balance between helping and enabling, on this show, we are always teetering on that line because a lot comes into play, right? To decide that actual boundary. There's not this like hard and fast rule. But I think what you have to discern in the situation is how can you best help her? And I think acknowledging, her situation is hard, right? And I think there is a level of if she's not done any level of healing or growth, like having a parent die at a young age like that, and then being in a toxic situation growing up, it's kind of like, of course, this is probably her road, right? Unless she decides to do something different. And I think that's would be your hope as her aunt, is that she can start to make different choices with her life. Because if she continues to be consistent in these choices, she's going to keep getting what she's been getting. And it's not a fruitful, peaceful life, right? She's she's not feeling that. So when it comes to the financial side of it, how can you best love her well and help, but not enable is the big question.
Right. So one of my thoughts was, hey, happy to help, but I'd like to directly pay your potential landlord.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, when you said down payment, is she trying to buy a house?
It's going to the right place. No, it's for an apartment.
Sorry, like a deposit.
Like, how you to put first and last month's rent.
Oh, yeah. I do think that is one of the best ways to help is to do it directly. Because you don't know if she's going to use this for something else. So say, I'd be happy to help. Give me the landlord's name. I'll work with them directly to handle the deposit.
Okay.
So you could do it that way. Okay. You can also say no. Mm-hmm. That's also an okay answer.
Yes.
I don't know that anyone's told her no.
Yeah. And, she has no one else. Like, I think a lot of people have said no, but because of her bad behavior previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she just moves on to the next person, and Bank of Sierra was up next.
That's right. And
what's your relationship like with her?
Yeah.
Are you involved in her life at all, or is it just you hear from her when she needs money?
We kind of go on and off. So, Dad had cut us out of their life. We held financial money from when my sister passed that it wasn't to be given until they were 21. So when we reconnected, when they were both her and her brother were 21, to give them the money, they were told that we stole the money. But that wasn't the case. Yeah, it's a horrible. I mean, it would take me days, but
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, yeah, and so they did get the money, and at that point, we thought we were sort of, kindling, a building of a relationship that was broken, and then from there, it just, she spent the money, I guess, within 3 months and started asking people for money, and we understood that she had a boyfriend in her life that was deep into gangs and drugs.
Boy.
So we, when she asked, I said, I'd love to buy your groceries, but can I take you to the grocery store? And then she wouldn't respond to you.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. I think this is your way out, is to start giving directly. Yeah. And if she says nope, then the red flags were there and you did the right thing and your conscience stays clean.
Yeah. And Sierra, what George said earlier too, like I do want you to have permission that this is your money and you want to see it being used in the best, wisest way, right? I mean, I think there is a responsibility there. And I'll say with the caveat, just because there's a family member who is in need and is asking does not mean you automatically have to, or you're a terrible person, right? So you could have your own conviction of that you don't want it, right? That you don't want to give. Or your heart may be, and again, I think this is up to you. This is not a right or wrong. I think it's just two different options. It's either like, I don't feel good about this. The responsibility, it doesn't feel right to me. I don't like it, and I just don't feel good engaging it. So that is one option. And then the other is that you love her and you're like, no, I do want to be able to help. I just want to do it in the right way. So that right way to me would be going straight to the landlord and helping with food, shelter, utilities, transportation, like the 4 walls, helping her in those ways, not going on vacation or something like that. And then talking to her and saying, because I love you so much, like I want to see you do better so you're not having to depend on people for money. So let's look at job opportunities. Let's look at doing a budget. Let's put you through Financial Peace University and go through and learn how to manage money. Like, I also want to give you these resources. Maybe you pay for therapy for her, right? I mean, like, seriously, like, I don't know what else is out there, but it's like tools to help her become a healthier person. How can we do that and sustain that, right? So that's option B. But option A is okay too, Sierra. I want you to feel that. Like that is up to you.
Yeah.
But then there's option B if you feel that way. But I think what you're saying is wise, is going, straight to the things that you can help. And even, and it's so sad, but it's the reality, she's pregnant. So like, I don't know what health insurance looks like for her and all of that. So it's like, there's a part, like, we need to understand the reality we live in, niece, whatever her name is. But also maybe, Sarah, you say, I feel like I do want to give, and maybe it's through the medical baby route and you help pay for medical bills, to help with that. Right. So like, I think there's ways to help her, but also helping her to become a healthier whole person in the process is going to be the best gift that you can give her.
Yeah, I really like that because I think I haven't taken time to do that. And I think I was also struggling. I'm kind of in a position in my life where I haven't always outrageously given, right? Like I've kind of turned the corner where I feel like I have to, I can help there. I can help there.
Yes.
Like I think I was trying to find that balance. And so I think that just even having we've kind of chatted back and forth, and I've kind of gone a bit radio silent actually, just to sort of discern and pray about this.
Yeah.
So, I think that answer is just, just having a proper conversation with her and how she can grow and sort of determine from there, but also maybe directly help her with the 4 walls. We have free healthcare in Canada, so baby care.
Oh, that's true. Be good. Okay, good. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I love your heart, Sierra, and I think, this is the thing about money. It's a tool to help, but we want to help and not enable. And with family members, I think it's sometimes that hard line that can happen.
Giving should be intentional, just like spending or saving.
Yep, that's right.
You're doing this the right way.
Yeah, for sure. Sierra, thanks so much for the call. Well, that puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Timothy is next. He's in Chicago. Hi, Timothy. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Well, hello there.
Hey, how can we help?
Great. So I'm going to get married in July, which is very exciting. It's very awesome.
Good.
And I'm going to be married into $50,000 of student loans.
That's awesome.
Okay, we discussed it. And that's behind us. We're going to make different choices going forward. So the really crux of the question here is, it's a relationship question built into a money situation. So I have $100,000 in mutual funds and just a regular brokerage account. So clearly I could just cash them out and wipe off the debt. My concern is that the loans are on my future mother-in-law's name. They're her loans. They're a Parent Plus loan. And so I don't want to be the rich boyfriend that comes in, pays off all the debt, and then just has that status of, rich boyfriend that is kind of entitled or something like that.
You don't want the status of you don't want to look like a snob. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to basically. I didn't know they've had trouble with finances before, and it's tight and hard for them. So I want to prove that I can work hard and be smart, and it wasn't just all given to me by my parents or grandparents, which some of this money has been. So it wasn't all money that I earned.
Okay, how much of her student loan debt is her parents' debt? That's Parent Plus.
So all 4 years are Parent Plus loans. It's been agreed that me and her will pay off the last 2, which is $50,000 in Parent Plus. The first 2 are like 45, which is what the parents are
You
gonna
were
pay.
not in on the deal. It was agreed originally when they did this that she would pay, that your fiance would, when she got out of college, would pay the first 2 and mom and dad would pay the second 2?
The reverse of that. She'd pay the second 2, they'd pay the first 2. But it was agreed when they were finishing high school, yeah.
Okay, so that's the deal she made with her mom and dad.
Yep.
Okay, because she's not legally obligated, but she has a handshake with them that she's going to do this.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And you're talking about paying off the portion that she gave them a handshake and agreed to pay.
Right.
Only.
Yep, not the first half.
Okay, the other's on mom and dad, and it's still on mom and dad after this story's over, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's a no-brainer. After the honeymoon, write a check and pay them off. Don't pay the mom and dad, pay the loans off.
Right.
Yeah. Now, and as far as whether you're a snob or not, here's how you don't be a snob. Don't be a snob. Just don't even bring it up.
Nice.
I mean, can you emotionally let this go and not roll your eyes at them when they're doing something else stupid because you paid this off?
I think that I could. It would be, yeah, it's my dad, so it'd be fine. Yeah. On my end, it'd be okay. I could handle it.
I'm confused as to, you must have gotten some smoke somewhere along the way. Did you pick up a dinner tab one time or something and there was kind of some awkwardness around the table?
So we were planning on being missionaries and fundraising our salary when I asked if I could propose, and the father-in-law was not super thrilled about that. And so in the end, I told him that I had this account. I was like, look, if we're missionaries for 2 years, there's no way we're going to be totally screwed, because worst case scenario, this could float us, which is what we were planning on signing a 2-year contract. That fell through. We're not going to be missionaries. We're going to have regular jobs. So I think that's kind of.
So here's what I would recommend this as early as possible in your marriage. And this is harder for some people than it is for others, but at the end of the day, you and your wife have to build a marriage together. And you can't be responsible for the regulation of the adult emotions in your life around you. So what you have is a debt. You're going to pay that debt off because you're a person of character, of an integrity. You worked your butt off to set yourself up in this situation, and you got some gifts to set yourself up in the situation. Great. If he wants to turn and get offended by it or feel less superior or whatever he wants to, that is his. And the earlier you can learn to not try to control that, the more peaceful your marriage is going to be moving forward.
That makes sense.
And expect it. Expect it. If you know it's coming back, then it's coming back. Cool.
Yeah. And it's just, you're going to be ready emotionally when that happens, and you just smile and nod and wander off to the other room and pour a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because you know it's coming. You know it's going to come. And then you're not the snot. The beautiful thing about this conversation, Timothy, is you're self-aware enough, and you kind of felt that rise up in you in that other conversation, that you kind of went, oh, that could happen again. So John's right. You smelled smoke before. And so you're self-aware enough to go, I really need to steel myself. I need to put some backbone in myself on this issue, because this is probably coming at me. And that's really the question you were answering.
That's right.
Asking. And John's answering. And so, yeah.
Because we know the right thing to do is to pay the debt off.
Yeah, you need to pay the debt off, because that's whether it's a legal debt, a moral debt, an ethical debt, which is only the last 2, it becomes your debt when you get married, and you're going to write a check when you get home from the honeymoon. And if she had a car loan, you'd pay it off. If she had a regular student loan, you'd pay that off. Whatever it is, and thank God you're aware before going into this exactly what you're getting into, and you're willing to do that. And she's worth it, and and now we go forward. And then, by the way, when you get the flu, she'll make soup. So for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, in the old Book of Common Prayer that you would have heard maybe in the 40s or 50s at a wedding says, unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. It's a beautiful old marriage vow, seldom used now, in an I'm independent culture. But I'm married, but I'm independent, but I'm married. There's your problem.
It's not real.
There's your sign. Yeah, Timothy, you're doing good. I'm really proud of you. I think you're very self-aware. You're observing this and you're going, I could do this wrong, and how do I not do it wrong? The fact that you're asking the question is probably a sign you're not going to do it wrong. If you just didn't even know it was there and you were oblivious, that's probably when you're going to step in it.
And put yourself in his shoes, not to excuse the behavior, but to give yourself a little gap between the stimulus and response. He's got a guy coming in and writing a check for his daughter that he couldn't write. That's got to hurt a little bit. It's got to hurt a little bit. And I can imagine that stinging a little bit. And so be it. I get it. It's silly. It's inappropriate, but I get it.
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, that he was questioning their financial plan when he's broke.
It's incredible. But that's where the biggest jeers come from, the cheap seats, right? That's where the complainers come.
They throw the peanuts only from the cheap seats.
Exactly.
Oh, this is how it works, man. I'm telling you. So yeah, that it's a sweet spirit you've got on this, Timothy. I think you're going to be just fine. I think you're doing a good thing, and thank God it's not 500,000. You know, that's
more likely the way I usually hear this call is I don't have that money.
Oh, yeah.
And father-in-law's asking for the check right now. Yeah. Where's my money?
Well, good luck with that.
I don't have it.
I didn't do this, dude. Yeah. You did.
So now I can write that check.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it becomes this push thing, this push and pull. Mm-hmm. And this is why, let me tell you, student loans are evil. Parent Plus loans are straight from the pit of hell. Because the parent is borrowing the money for the kid to go to school, and then there's all these side deals or these unsaid, unmet expectations.
Or there's a deal, and then suddenly you get a nice job out of college,
and then
surely
then
you're
they change the deal. And I mean, look at him; he makes all this money. I ought to pick it up. I told him I'd pay it, but I mean, look at that, Jim. And it's just these things have not only the problems and the weight of a student loan, but they have the ability to drive wedges in families as well, right, and in relationships. It's straight up from the pit of hell. This student loan thing is, man, hey, Congress, stop making them. You're screwing up a whole generation or two. Stop it. There's nothing good coming out of this. They only got a degree in left-handed puppetry. Stop it.